All right, time for chapter 9. Chapter 9, Farandolae and Mitochondria. This was the end of Meg. There was to be no more anything, ever. Exit Meg, ex-Meg, ex-Meg. Then she realized that if she could think this, if she could think at all, then it was not happening. One who is exed cannot think. The pain still burned like ice, but she could think through it. She still was. With all of her, she kithed away from the x-ness. Progo, Calvin, help me! Through her cry, she felt the cherubim. Meg, I name you. You are. And then numbers moving as strong and steady and rhythmic as tide. Calvin. He was sending numbers to her. Calvin was sending back to her those first trigonometry problems they'd done together. She held on to the strength of numbers as to a lifeline until the ectothroid pain was gone and she was free to move back into the realm of words again. Human words, which were much easier for Calvin than numbers. Calvin, she called, oh, Calvin. And then her kithing was an anguished longing for her parents. Where was her father? Had Dr. Louise or her mother called Brookhaven? What had they told their father? Was he on his way home? And her mother? She wanted to retreat, revert, to climb back into her mother's lap, as she had done when she was Charles Wallace's age and needed healing from some small hurt. No, Meg. She felt as though gentle fingers were pushing her down, forcing her to walk alone. She tried to kithe, to get her mind's voice into focus, sent its beams at last to Prognoscus and Calvin. What happened? She felt a series of major earthquakes before Prognoscus managed words for her. Whatever it was that had happened, it had certainly upset the cherubim. He kithed at last. As though once weren't enough, when you reached out for Mr. Jenkins's hand, you got an ectthros, Mr. Jenkins. Now we know that at least one of them followed us here. How? Not through Mr. Jenkins, though it's still using a Jenkins body. Perhaps Sporos. Sporos? Pride has always been the downfall of the deepening ones. Sporos may have listened to an ectthros. We aren't sure. What did you do? How did you get me away from it? It hurt. It hurt more than I knew anything could hurt. And then I felt you naming me, Progo. And you, Cal, you were sending numbers to me, and the pain went, and I was back to myself again. Calvin kithed. Prognoscus got a lot of little farandolae to rush up and tickle the ectthros, Mr. Jenkins. It was so startled it let you go. Where is it now, the ectthros, Mr. Jenkins? Prognoscus was sharp. It doesn't matter, Meg. It's here. It's with us in Yada. Then we're still in danger from it? All Yada is in danger. Every mitochondrion in this human host is in danger. This human host? Prognoscus did not reply. This human host was Charles Wallace. What are we going to do? There was another volcanic upheaval before Prognoscus replied. We must not give way to panic. She kithed Calvin words and felt him returning the kithing. She asked, Did you know what was happening to me? Not at first. Then Progo told me. There was a terrible quietness to Calvin's reply. She felt that he was holding something back from her. The little farandolae, the ones who saved me, are they all right? There was silence. Are they all right? The little farandolae who startled the ectthos and saved me? No. The kithing came reluctantly from both Calvin and Prognoscus. What happened to them? To surprise an ectthros is not a safe thing to do. The ectthros exed them? No, Meg, they exed themselves. That's a very different matter. What will happen to them now? Prognoscus kithed slowly. I've never seen it happen before. I've heard about it, but I've never seen it. Now I understand more than I used to. The farandolae are known by name, just as the stars are. That's all I need to know. You haven't told me anything. Where are the little farandolae who saved me? If they axed themselves, then where are they? She heard a faint, where doesn't matter, Meg. You must get in touch with Mr. Jenkins, the real Mr. Jenkins. Instinctively, she withdrew her kithing. I don't dare try again. Do you have any idea how much that hurt? Your scream shook the entire mitochondrion. I only hope it didn't hurt Charles Wallace. She flinched, then held on to something. She wasn't sure what, but it felt like a lifeline. After a moment, she knew that it was coming from the cherubim, an outflowing of love. Love so tangible that she could hold on to it. Reach for Mr. Jenkins, Prognoscus urged. Name him for him again. See how much you've been able to kithe to him. And remember, you have to go at his speed, not your own. Why, he's holding us back. Hush, Meg, Calvin kithed. Adults take longer at this kind of thing than we do, particularly adults like Mr. Jenkins, who haven't tried new thoughts for a long time. But we don't have time, Charles Wallace. I said he takes longer than we do, and that's true, but sometimes adults can go deeper than we can if we're patient. We don't have time to be patient. Meg, trust Blageni. Mr. Jenkins must be with us for a reason. Help him. Do what Progo says. Prognoscus kithed urgently. We may need Mr. Jenkins to get Sporos to deepen. Blageni wouldn't have sent him unless. Oh, Meg, a teacher never does anything without reason. Try to reach Mr. Jenkins, Meg. She pushed her terror aside and opened herself to kithing, and she was with Charles Wallace. Not within him, not without him, but with him. Part of his exhaustion, his terrifying energy loss, his struggle to breathe. Oh, fight, Charles. Don't stop struggling. Breathe. Breathe. I'll try to help. I'll do anything I can to help. Even then, she was with the twins. Charles Wallace, she thought, had sent her. The twins were in the garden, digging, grimly spading up and turning under the old tomato plants, the frost-blackened zinnias, the lettuce gone to seed, turning them under to enrich the earth for the next spring, the next planting, with set faces working silently, taking out their anxiety over Charles Wallace and physical labor. Sandy broke the silence. Where's Meg? Denny's paused, his foot on the pitchfork as he pressed it into the earth. She should be getting home from school soon. Charles Wallace said she isn't in school. He said that Meg is in him. I heard him. Charles Wallace is delirious. Have you ever seen anyone die? Only animals. I wish Meg would come home. So do I. They went on with their preparation of the garden for the winter cold and snow. If the twins' job is simply to take care of their garden, Meg told herself, your job is to reach Mr. Jenkins. Where? Nowhere. Just Mr. Jenkins. Mr. Jenkins, Mr. Jenkins, you are you and nobody else, and I named you. I'm kithing, Mr. Jenkins. Here I am, me, Meg. You know me, and I know you. She thought she heard a sniff, a Mr. Jenkins sniff. Then he seemed to recede again. This minuscule undersea world was totally beyond his comprehension. She tried to kithe to him once more all the images and earth equivalent which she had received, but he responded with nothing beyond ancient blankness. Name him, Prognoscus urged. He is afraid to be. When you named him in the schoolyard, that was kithing. That was how you knew him from the 2-ecthroi, Mr. Jenkins says. How you must know him this time. Mr. Jenkins, unique. As every star in the sky is unique. Every leaf on every tree, every snowflake, every farandola, every cherubim, unique, named. He gave Calvin shoes, and he didn't have to come with us to this danger and horribleness, but he did. He chose to throw in his lot with us when he could have gone back to school and his safe life as a failure. Yes, before an unimaginative man to come with them into this unimaginably infinitesimal unknown isn't the kind of thing a failure does. Nevertheless, Mr. Jenkins had done it, was doing it. Mr. Jenkins, I love you. She did. Without stopping to think, she put her imagined hand into his. His fingers were slightly damp and chill, just as clammy as she'd always thought Mr. Jenkins's hand would be. And real. And we'll stop there.